What's up everybody, it's your boy Steve Bookin, and I'm back with another quick product review. Today I'm going to be going over the elusive and exclusive Thrustmaster TGT2. Yeah, man, I finally got me one. I didn't even know Thrustmaster was still making these things, so I didn't expect them to be in stock, and I damn sure didn't expect them to be on sale. But they had them. They had them in stock, and they had them on sale through their online store during their Black Friday and holiday weekend sale back in November. So yeah, I picked up the servo base for $409. That's almost a $100 markdown from the original $499 retail price. I didn't need the steering wheel and the pedals that come with the other bundles. The servo base came with all the hardware I needed to mount it to my desk. But yeah, man, this bad boy is still expensive. It cost almost as much as Fanatec CSL direct drive wheelbases. But if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I'm not the biggest fan of the direct drive systems. I think they can be a little too harsh for my liking. So yeah, man, I'm still having a good time with these good old-fashioned belt-driven wheelbases. Okay, now I didn't try this on all my racing games. I just cherry-picked some of my personal favorites and some favorites among the sim racing community. So yeah, let's get into what the Thrustmaster TGT2 is all about. Alright, let me get the obvious out of the way and say that it works very well with Gran Turismo 7. I believe the TGT2 was built around and specifically for Gran Turismo Sport and Gran Turismo 7, so it comes to no surprise that it works exceptionally well with GT7. There's a toggle switch on the front of the TGT2. When turned on, it amplifies the force feedback detail in Gran Turismo 7. The TGT's force feedback simulates track and car detail that I've never noticed while using my T300 or CSL PS4 wheelbase while playing Gran Turismo. For example, the slight jerk of the steering wheel when going up and down the gears. Now that's a detail that I love, but I could only experience it in Race Room, and now with the TGT2 I can experience it in Gran Turismo 7 as well. I think my only complaint with the TGT in Gran Turismo 7 is that the force feedback is not as smooth as my CSL PS4 wheelbase. The TGT has this weird vibration effect when going around really tight and really long corners. My T300 does this as well. I think Thrustmaster wheelbases are trying to simulate the tire scrubbing during understeer. I don't know what it is. I just know I'm not really a fan of it. So yeah, the TGT2 has more detail in its force feedback than the CSL PS4 wheelbase. But what the CSL PS4 lacks in its detail, it makes up for in the smoothness of its force feedback delivery in Gran Turismo 7. The TGT works very well with R Factor 2, which was a pleasant surprise because the force feedback delivery is really choppy in R Factor 2 on my TSXW and T300 wheelbase. The only issue I had with the TGT and R Factor 2 is after I got it set up and all my buttons mapped out, the force feedback was inverted. Older videos on YouTube will instruct you to go into the game files and manually change the force feedback values, but I don't think that's the case any longer. All I had to do was go into the wheel calibration in the game settings and change the force feedback from 100 to -100, and that easily sorted the issue out. Unfortunately, the TGT2 doesn't work with Project Cars 2 on PlayStation 4, and it barely works with Project Cars 2 on PC. And this was really sad news for me because if you've been following my channel for a while, you've probably noticed that I have a really soft spot for Project Cars 2. On PlayStation 4, the game will only recognize the TGT2 as this hoary wheelbase right here. The driving inputs will work, but the degrees of rotation is really off and there's no force feedback. Now I can do a custom wheel setup on PC, but the force feedback is so faint that it's almost like it's not even there. So yeah, man, after finding out that the TGT2 doesn't work with Project Cars 2, and since I think they're all built on the same engine, I quickly booted up Project Cars 3 and Automobilista 2. Now I know the sim racing community has a much deserved disliking for Project Cars 3, but it's one of my personal favorites. I really like the way the cars handle in that game, and I'm still having fun playing it. Fortunately, I was relieved to find out that the TGT works very well with Project Cars 3 and Automobilista 2. The only issues I had, there's no preset configuration for the TGT and Automobilista 2. So I had to set it up as a custom wheel and manually calibrate the wheel and pedals and manually bind all my inputs. Also, normally I have to turn the force feedback down in Automobilista 2, but with the TGT I had to turn the settings up to get the force feedback to match the feel of the other wheelbases I use. The TGT2 works really good with Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione. The force feedback is really good in Race Room as well. No complaints. Very very pleasant experience with this Wheelbase while playing those titles. Now on to some rally games. And this is where I get in trouble because this is the area where Thrustmaster Wheelbases excel above Fanatic in my opinion. And the TGT2 is no exception in that regard. The TGT feels really good with Dirt Rally 2.0 and WRC10 as well. Now I chose WRC10 because WRC Generations was having some issues at launch. So I figured WRC10 would be the best option to test this thing out. And the TGT2 performed very well, proving itself to be another reason why Thrustmaster will always be my go-to for rally games. And last but not least, I tried it out on Wreckfest, which is another personal favorite of mine and another title that I think Thrustmaster outperforms Fanatic in my opinion. In Wreckfest, the TGT2 was plug and play for PC and PlayStation. The default force feedback settings in Wreckfest was a little too harsh for my liking, so I had to turn it down to about 45% and I was ready to go. So yeah, man, I'm very blessed and very happy to be able to get my hands on the Thrustmaster TGT2. I'm very happy with my purchase so far. I think this is the last premium belt-driven wheelbase I needed to collect and test out, and now I can start combing through some of these direct drive systems I see everybody going crazy over. So yeah, man, I'm gonna get up out of here and start getting my chest tries, buys, shoulders, delts, and forearms ready for the task ahead. So be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you like the content over here. Thanks for watching. It's Tibukin. I'm out.